Hey guys, it's me again, Captain Corey, here to teach you some 6th grade science. Last time we were together, we talked about weather maps. We saw a satellite weather map, the national forecast, and current conditions. And we saw our Richmond local weather. We also did an at-home activity and made a thunderstorm. Today is explained, so we're going to dive deeper into weather maps. If you would like to do the notes on your own, you can skip ahead to the time on the screen. If you would like to follow along with me, we are going to start now. All right, so right here, we're in the weather maps. I will just want to show you right quick. This is what the notes look like. Okay, in your science journal, these are the notes that we're going to be filling out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. We're going to start with a quick video.
Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Ryan Davidson. I'm actually Elizabeth's mom's cousin, and I work here at the Weather Channel. And I hear you guys are learning about weather. So we're going to talk a couple of things about weather systems and fronts and kind of how those all come together to make weather. And then we'll talk a little bit about your forecast. So first off, we're going to talk about understanding what goes on in a weather map. So first, we've got cold air, and as it pushes further to the south, along the leading edge of where that cold air is advancing is where we would set up a cold front. And that's going to be this blue line here with all these triangles, and they point in the direction the cold front is moving. Now on the other side, we have a warm front. When you have a mass of warm air moving northward or in any direction, the leading edge of that warm air mass is where we draw this warm front, which is going to be the little red line with the half circles. The best way to remember it is they're like little half suns, so they're always denoting warmer air. You kind of work it out that way, where sun, warmth, warm front, right, like that. So that's how we denote where a warm front lays. Now, when we start moving and adding in things like pressure systems, we have a low pressure system right here. Air around a low pressure system moves counterclockwise and inward. So when we start putting those air masses around that area of low pressure, we begin to see just a few things happening here. The warm air surging northward, that's where the warm front is. The cold front surging southward, that's where we line up that cold front. And then we zoom in closer where we get all the precipitation. What's going to happen here is you've got this air coming down from the north and this air kind of going towards the north and east. What happens is this piles up as it gets close to this warm air mass and it starts to lift. So where these meet, all that wind meets, we call that convergence, the meeting of air. And when it happens, it starts to go, it has nowhere to go, so it has to go up. Once that starts going up, that's where we start to get clouds and rain. And usually along the cold frontal side of a storm is where we'll see things like thunderstorms. But on the warm frontal side, over to the north, that's where we'll start to see just broad areas of rain and showers and cloudiness. And as that comes through, well, the weather gets a little bit cooler. Now, high pressure, a little bit different. High pressure systems, air goes clockwise and outwards from an area of high pressure. So why don't we ever see any rain or anything near an area of high pressure? When you have all of this air moving outwards, it's actually like if you were going to turn the hose right on the ground. What happens is that water goes down and it spreads out. You don't have any lift, so you don't have anything to create that upflow of moisture to create any precipitation. So usually when we talk about high pressure, we talk about nice weather. But let's take a look at what your forecast is looking like as we go through the next couple of days. We're going to be looking at a little bit of rain. We've got a couple of fronts to the south. Here's our warm front. See the red with the half circles. That's going to come northward. And we're going to see a little bit of rain in eastern and central North Carolina as these low pressure systems and their cold fronts and warm fronts move along the eastern seaboard. Then by Wednesday, we'll see maybe a little bit of rain in Raleigh, but it quickly moves out and we start to see some high pressure move in. How do we know? Well, we don't see any weather going on here by Thursday. And that'll stay the same even as we head into Friday. Things kind of clear out, but the next weather system comes on in and we start to see some rain heading in portions of western Tennessee and portions of Mississippi. So here's what comes up for Raleigh over the next 5 days. We've got rain on Wednesday and a little bit cooler, notice, as we get that cold front to come through. It brings that rain, 48 degrees. Then we warm up and high pressure moves in. We get sunny conditions and our temperatures kind of get back into the middle 50s. Then we get really nice by Sunday with a temperature of 63 degrees.
All right, so that was our first video. Now we're going to go through the notes. All right, first, what is weather? So weather describes the condition of air and rainfall outdoors, such as temperature, cloud cover, and wind speed, right? So weather symbols, we're going to start with this first one. All right, so we got high pressure. When you think of high pressure, just think of the H as hot, dry air, and think of happy weather. So, when you guys were in elementary school, and the days where there were high pressure, it was happy, you got to go outside for recess, right? So high pressure, think happy weather, it's nice, you can go outside, there's nothing going to interrupt that time. All right, so for low pressure, that's the opposite. So then you get cold, wet air, and you think of L, you can think of lousy weather. So that's when it's raining and it's kind of icky outside. That's when we have our low pressure. All right, cold front. So a cold front is when a cold air mass moves towards a warm air mass, right? And these can result in thunderstorms. The way that I remember that it's a cold front is that like the blue is kind of symbolizes coldness. And also these look like little icicles, right? So little triangles, icicles. Remember what the meteorologist said? This cold front would be traveling this way because of the direction of the triangles. If it was flipped over, then we know that it would be traveling the other direction. All right, a warm front. So a warm front is when warm air mass is moving towards a cold air mass. This also results in steady rain and brings warmer temperature. So here goes our little bump to the half suns, bringing in the warm air, right? You're going to get rain with the warm front, you're going to get rain with the cold front, you're going to get rain with low pressure, right? So far, those are the things that we have been seeing. Sometimes you get a stationary front, right? So that's when two boundaries of a front stalls. So they're just kind of like stationary, means to like be still. All right, these can result in cloudy skies and light rain. Give you some time to write that down. I want you guys to remember that anytime during these notes, you can like go back, go forward, whatever you need to do. All right, an occluded front, right? So that is when a cold front overtakes a warm front. And this also can result in rain. So remember in the stationary, if you go back, you can see that they're on different sides and they're just like kind of like still, right? But in the occluded front, when we look at this one, they're all on the same side and the cold has overtaken. All right, thunderstorms. So now we're getting into symbols that you might just see on a map or see when they're doing like the 7-day forecast, all right? If you see a little lightning bolt like this, you know that there's going to be a thunderstorm. Right here with our clouds, obviously that means cloudy weather. If you see a little sun peeking out, that means you're gonna get partly cloudy, which means it's not gonna be a completely gloomy day, a little bit of sun is gonna happen. You see the sun on a weather map, then you know you're gonna have sunny weather. You can associate that with high pressure, because remember, high pressure is happy weather, and that's when you'll know that it'll be sunny. Right? If you see a cloud with lines, we know that that's going to be rain. Sometimes it's raindrops also. You can see either one kind of interchangeable. Just know that if something is falling down from the cloud, there's some type of precipitation happening, right? And if you see like a snowflake, then you know that that's snow. Sometimes on weather maps, you'll see like the symbols are moving. So there might be like rain coming down or like snow coming down from the cloud. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna predict the weather. All right, so we're looking at this map, right? Remembering what H means, remembering what L means, these different symbols. Okay, so the weather in Houston and Orlando for the next couple of days, what would we predict that the weather would be like? Just looking at these symbols down here and what we know. If you need to go back and look, that's fine. If you want to look at your notes, that's fine. All right, so we have this low pressure. We know that low pressure is lousy weather, so that's going to bring our rain. You can see that with these clouds, our thunderstorms, right? Also, right here, we have a stationary front, which we know also brings precipitation. All right, let's go to the next one. It says, describe the weather in Chicago today compared to yesterday. So we know right above Chicago, you have this right here. What does that symbol mean? So a warm front just passed through Chicago. We can tell because of the direction that our little half suns, little half circles are, right? So today it will be cooler in Chicago than it was yesterday. All right, question. What kind of weather is Seattle having? So up here, what kind of weather is Seattle having? What is associated with this H? Right, so we have high pressure, right? So that means that we have clear skies and that the sun is out. It's a nice time to be in Seattle. It rains a lot there. All right, so those are our notes for today. All right, if you go to your science journal, you'll see that there are some activities. So we have weather map practice. Everything is labeled on here, okay? The first thing you're gonna do, it asks you to use the weather map to predict the weather, right? So it says, where are they having sunny weather with a high temperature of 82? So you'll go through and you'll look at the different cities, and wherever you see that the high is 82, and there's sunny weather, then you'll be able to know that the answer is that city. All of the answers on this one is going to be a city, and the cities are labeled for you, okay? On this one, it's going to ask you, so it's describing the weather, right? So it says showers and thunderstorms. So where do you see showers, thunderstorms, and it's hot and humid, right? You will look and see where you see those things, where it's like a hurricane right off the coast. You know, the edges, those are our coasts, okay? Cold front, where do you see? All of these are associated with a city. All right, our next activity is going to be a meteorologist TikTok challenge. Okay, so there's 4 materials that you need. You're gonna need a phone, you're gonna need the TikTok app, a picture of a weather map in your camera roll, and parent permission. You cannot get on TikTok if you do not have the permission from your parents. Please get the permission from your parents. All right, so that's the first thing that you have to do, right? Then you're gonna download a screenshot of an image of a weather map. So what you can do is you can take any of these, if you would like any of these weather maps, you can use those, okay? And you're going to, once you get to the app, you're going to hit the plus button. That's where you can start to create your video. Go to effects under the trending section and look for the green screen icon that looks just like this. All right. You're going to choose your weather map from your photo library and use it as your background and hit record. So what I would like for you all to do is to explain the weather on your weather map that you chose. All right. When you tag, just tag meteorologist challenge RPS at home 6th grade science and post it so we can see the ones that you have. I will show you the one that I have created in a different video. All right, and just, you don't have to go searching for weather map if you don't want to. You can use one of these and just have fun with it. All right, the next activity we have is a gizmo. You can go right to the gizmo link and we'll have the activity that you can do. It's only activity A, so it's not like a really long one. How you get to the gizmo is I want to show you in these next couple of steps. All right, so first things first is you go onto Clever and then you click on Gizmo, right? Make sure that you put in the right information. Make sure that it says Richmond Richmond Public Schools, and you have that right. So then you'll just come to where it says Virginia Science. Click on 6th grade. Scroll all the way down to where it says we have 6.7 weather maps, right? Launch Gizmo. Okay, when you get here, the first thing you want to do is show the land so that you can actually see what you're looking at. And if you want to see the grid, that's fine too, right? You can press new, it gives you a new one. Show fronts, show all that. You can say show the city, and it gives you right here all the information. We have tools where you can screenshot, arrows, help, sound. Alrighty. So here is, so here's all the information. If you want to make it full screen, you can do that too. All right, and it'll show you the weather right here. It says high pressure. That's why it's not really a lot to see. You can say show radar, show satellite image, and that changes that part down there. Alrighty, just go through all of the steps and it will definitely show you and tell you what to do. All right, so that sums up day 2. For day 3, there is a quizzes and a Legends of Learning playlist. As always, I'll put up the access code. It's RPS_science. Thank you guys so much for coming today. And until next time, it's been Science with Captain Corey.